Alright, this video is about how to focus for very long periods of time in one go, and basically it all boils down to progressive overload. So you might have heard of it, you might have not, but I'm going to tell you a story about this little Greek boy named Milo, I think. And by the way, you might have heard of this story before, especially if you go to the gym or anything, because it's the main concept behind how you progress your strength. But basically there was this boy named Milo, had a little calf, and he carried it up a hill and down every day. And then as he grew older, the calf also grew, and the calf grew really big into a full cow, and it grew so slowly that Milo was able to carry the whole cow eventually, when the cow was fully grown after 10 or so years maybe. And the concept behind this is that, sorry, also I'll speak a bit slower because I realise I speak quite fast. The concept behind this is that if you make really gradual improvements, then your body will adapt, and your brain and body, they work the same way really. Your brain and body work the same way. So if you want to use progressive overload to build your muscles, you're going to do the same thing to build your brain, and all the different functions inside your brain. You can use progressive overload for all of them. Any skill that you want to progress or learn, you can apply progressive overload to it. It's a very useful concept, and it's what you're going to apply to be able to focus for a long period of time. So, but that's not everything, because obviously that would just be you go there, you focus for as long as you can, and then you go there a few days later, you focus for as long as you can. That's not everything. So I'm going to give you more tips. Basically, number one, you've got to have rest. Your brain does recover like your muscles. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but if you work your brain really hard for a really long period of time, you do get mental fatigue, as in your brain will feel tired, like your muscles feel tired. And I know I'm using the example of muscles, you might not go to the gym, so it might not resonate with you very well, but if you've gone on a big walk and then your legs feel tired, your brain's also going to feel tired if you actually work it really hard for a really long period of time. So your brain has to recover like any other muscle. If you went on walks every day, if you went on walks every day for a long period of time, that even if you didn't feel it the first day, over a month or so of just walking every day, you'd start to feel it, the cumulative fatigue, and your brain will have the same thing. So I used to notice that if I actually focused in school every day, then when I got to the holidays, I'd actually need for break. I'd need to actually do nothing over the holiday. But if you take one day a week and you just rest your brain, you don't use your brain, it will recover from all the work you've done over the week, and then you'll be able to work just as well the next week. And then if you have a holiday, you can work just as well in the holiday, which is very important as a skill, because holidays are very good times if you want to actually use your life. Because obviously if you're in school all day, you're not going to have a very productive day unless all you care about is school. And even then, me personally, I can't learn anything in school, so yeah, it's not really useful for me. But yeah, that's tip number one, you've got to have rest. And tip number one is you've got to progressively overload it, you've got to gradually increase it. And tip number two, you've got to have rest. And tip number three, sorry, I just stuck my middle finger up at you. Basically, the way I did it, I'm going to explain, is that I built up my focus by programming. And I'm not telling you to go out and start programming, I'm just saying, I had this thing which created something. So when I'm programming, I'm working towards a project. So I actually have an end goal in mind. So I'm motivated to actually sit there and keep on doing it. And at first I'd only do it not very long. I'd do it till my brain's a bit tired, and then I'd stop and I'd give myself a whole week of rest. I just wouldn't be doing stuff during the week, trying to cram in as much as possible. I'd just give myself rests, because I knew that my brain would recover to the point where it was before, and then I'd be able to focus better on the next time I do it, on the task the next time I do it. So I knew that if I gave myself a whole week of rest and just did it once a week, that would be fine for me, and I'd get more done than if I was trying to cram it in for 20-minute sessions every day. So that's the rest concept. And basically, my taps on it. Basically, when I this might need some edits. I don't know if I loaded it there. Maybe won't be bothered. But where was I? I focused for as long as I could, gave myself like a week's rest, focused for as long as I could. And then if you keep doing that, or you keep like giving yourself, you know, a few days rest, like 3-4 days when you don't do it, where you don't focus on the task that you're doing, and you're just focusing for as long as you can when you can, until your brain starts to feel tired. Because when your brain feels like fatigued, then you know that if you keep doing it, you know, you're just going to overtrain it, and then you're going to be like, you're going to get burnt out eventually, really. So it's like, I was going to say it's like overtraining your muscles, but again, I'm not trying to use those analogies here. But yeah, if you keep on doing that, eventually you'll get to a point where you can just do it for the whole day. And that's the thing, like one day I actually just like, I don't know how long it was after I started programming, but I just programmed for like 15 hours straight in that day. And at the end of the day, I was really tired, you know, I didn't recover for the whole rest of the week. I just couldn't use my brain as well. But the next week I could use my brain again. And, you know, I'm sure that was very good for my attention span, like now that my brain's recovered and sort of adapted to be able to do that again, and more than that. So then you get to a point where you can actually just focus for 15 hours one day, and then probably like, I could probably do it 15 hours the next day. I mean, I haven't done 15 hours in a while. Like if I am doing notes and stuff, I'll do like maybe 10 hours, and then the next day I'll just do another 10 hours, and that's fine. So yeah, for me it's more of a time constraint now than the focus constraint, which is good. You want to be in that position, and I'm glad that I'm in that position, and I want to actually maintain that. Don't know if I will maintain that, because, you know, it's obviously hard work to maintain it, because you have to actually have these tasks which you can focus on for like 10 hours straight. But yeah, that's basically how you do it. I'm hoping this has been very like non-waffly. I don't know if it has been non-waffly. I might have just waffled loads, but main concept, progressive overload, that's what you've got to understand that. If you want to progress any skill in life, you've got to understand progressive overload. And if you don't understand it, you can still progress the skill, but you won't progress it and know how you're progressing it. You'll just be progressing it like randomly, and you won't understand like how you're getting better. What was that? I don't know if you heard that. Second one, you've got to take breaks. You've got to recover, because otherwise, you know, your progressive overload is not going to have any effect. You know, if that Milo kept on walking up and down the hill with that cow, hoping the cow would grow and hoping he'd get stronger, he'd have just like died of starvation. He wouldn't have been able to keep walking up and down over and over again. He had to do it once a day. And, you know, it takes self-discipline if you actually really care about something to only do it once a day, or to do it like once a week. But, you know, taking that discipline, or using that discipline to actually limit the amount that you spend on something, can be really beneficial for your future with that thing. So yeah, very important. And then there wasn't a third tip, to be honest. That was just me explaining how I use these 2 tips in my life. So if you remember those tips, you can progress your focus, and you can progress anything really to a certain extent. Obviously, I do believe that with your focus there's probably better ways to progress it, or more ways to progress it beyond a sort of intermediate level of focus, you know, which you can focus for like, if I could focus for like 15 hours a day for a week, if I wanted to focus for more than that, I'd probably have to progress it in a different way. I don't care to research that yet, you know, maybe when I'm older I'll be able to do that, but currently I don't care about that because I won't need to. So yeah, so that's basically it for the video. But I'm going to mention, if you're studying right now, I don't know if I'm going to call this how to study for 10 hours straight, or if I'm going to call this how to focus for 10 hours straight. I'll probably call it studying, because I'm trying to niche down to like the study niche. And the reason I'm trying to niche down to the study niche is because I've made a revision platform. That's what it's not what I was programming when I did 15 hours straight. I think that was like an app I made, but I've made a website which is free to use, and it's called Mindspacer. Won't put it on screen. It's just mindspacer.online. It'll be in the description. won't be a link. If you copy and paste it into your browser, it will come up, because you need to have like 1,000 subscribers for links. But yeah, so if you want to help me reach 1,000 subscribers, subscribe. But yeah, if you want to use spaced repetition, which is similar to progressive overload, to be honest, the intervals between the times which you repeat this knowledge, you get a question and answer, and the intervals between when you repeat it double each time, basically. And that's how the learning curve works, which is basically another way of applying progressive overload to life. Like, all the functions in your brain have progressive overload built into them, so it's a concept you should get really familiar with through life, and I think it will help you a lot. But yeah, if you want to use it, you can for free on mindspace.online, and if you don't, then don't. But if you give it a subscribe, I appreciate it, and I'll be making more videos like this, and hopefully better than this, because, you know, this one's kind of, I don't know how much I've waffled, but I'll see. And goodbye, and have a good day. Yeah.